Hi Scorpio, welcome to your July mid-monthly for mid-July 2020 right up until August. This is kind of a different format. I'm not shuffling on screen. I have pre-shuffled and drawn quite a lot of cards for you because I think it saves time in terms of getting the actual messages out. So for the remainder of the month, let's see what we have going on for Scorpio. So Scorpio, the one thing that is very clear astrologically is that there is a lot of light being shone in your third house. So for you, that is a lot to do with the words left unsaid. I think many of you are actually struggling, as secretive as you are, to sit on a few fears, to sit on a few things you'd really like to say. And I think a lot of you are really having this high level of resistance between feeling like you could express yourself authentically. You might be having a lot of throat pain, or you might be very drawn to the colour blue, but I think for a lot of you, your truth is really looking to come out, and I think a lot of you are resisting putting it forward. And I think that comes from feeling as if, you know, your truth is too intense, because there's this association with Scorpios that they're too intense and that they're too emotional and that other people just aren't like that. The reason that Scorpio is known as such a detective or such an FBI agent or very suspicious and all-knowing is because Scorpios are actually usually the ones that are more in touch with the depth that people can actually possess. So it's not that people don't feel as much as you, it's just that you're usually more honest about it, but you're more honest about it with yourself, usually. I just think at the moment you're kind of grappling with this. Now, this is a lot to do with Saturn moving back into your third. So here we have abundance and maturity. Now, the maturity card is very, very interesting because for a lot of Scorpios, when Saturn moved back into the third house, you realize that you weren't as comfortable expressing yourself as you thought. You start to second guess your words, you start to second guess your worth. For a lot of Scorpios, with the South Node now being in Sagittarius, abundance is a big thing for you. You're really starting to think and feel more about money. It's starting to become more important to you. It's always been important to Scorpios to an extent, but for a lot of you, you're starting to really want it. And I think for a lot of you, it's coming. So with the abundance card here, and Venus being in Gemini, your 8th house of resources, there is a strong indication, Scorpio, that the more mature and wise you are and the more you implement your lessons that you've learned from Saturn, the more abundance you can draw into your life. I think a lot of you are more wise about money now. I think a lot of you are more determined to make the most of it and not work against it and remove some mental abundance blocks that you have because maybe you feel like you're not worth it. With Mars and Chiron connecting, Scorpio, your self-worth is really, really called into question with so much exposing Pluto. With the Sun exposing Pluto and with Mars connecting with the wounded healer Chiron, there is a really strong sense that you feel quite fragile and quite exposed at the minute. So I think for a lot of you, in terms of abundance and maturity, realize while you're feeling this exposure that you deserve so much. You deserve the world, you deserve abundance, and also that you've learned a lot. You're not the same person that you were this time last year. Most Scorpios, because of 2020, are not the same person that they were last month. You are growing and you are maturing, and if you do not trust yourself, you're blocking some really lovely things coming into your life, because I feel like there's a lot of blessings that the universe wants to put on you at the minute, and one of them is love. One of them is romance. So we have the Knight of Water here, which is the Knight of Cups. Emotional, romantic, enthusiastic, contemplative. That's definitely not how you pronounce it, but whatever. Falling in love or wedding proposals, the need to balance emotions, an invitation to a social event. So for a lot of you, I think there is a sense of emotional unbalance here. And as I say, the reason for that is because the Sun is exposing your ruler Pluto and your co-ruler Mars is connecting with Chiron. So you're feeling quite emotional and you're feeling quite vulnerable. With Justice energy, there is again a tipping of the scales. So fair and just decisions, do what you know is right and stand up for your beliefs. So I think in many cases, Scorpio, for many of you, there's a fear of expressing your feelings or a fear of expressing your romantic interest or a fear of opening up romantically. And I think for a lot of you, this comes on the back end of some really harsh romantic karma, because justice is a lot to do with karma. For a lot of you, it could have been a Libra person that either you're connecting with or has really hurt you. But for many of you, this is just quite simply shining a light on the fact that with the Knight of Earth as well, which is the Knight of Pentacles, and the Nine of Water, a wish of some kind is coming true after heavy karma. There's a rebalancing here. And I also think for a lot of Scorpios, this could signify either a pregnancy or a relationship becoming more serious. For a lot of you, this looks like a relationship going official, especially with the Knight of Pentacles here and the Nine of Cups. And for a lot of you, you could meet someone where there is loyalty, dedication, honor, fairness, someone who is possibly quite slow to make decisions because they want to do it right. You know, they're not as quick to state their intentions because they want to make sure that they're being 100% honest. You know, coming from a good place, because the Knight of Earth is quite slow energy. In terms of work, I think for a lot of you, you could be signing a contract between now and the end of July. A new contract and work, something that is a bit of a wish come true, because with the Nine of Cups, the beautiful thing that it says is concerns fading away. And one of the things that I found when I was doing this for Scorpios is that there probably is a little bit of concern in your heart. I think for a lot of you, you're very worried about something, and I think genuinely, Scorpio, a lot of you are worried that you're not quite cut out for something. And karma has made you feel that way. Events have made you feel that way, and you're really questioning yourself. But the Justice card and the Maturity card want you to know that you have matured. You have really... It's been a slow and steady progress with the Knight of Pentacles. It might have felt like it wasn't so slow and steady. It might have felt very overwhelming, but you've been very committed to this journey of self-discovery. I do think for a lot of you, you have an opportunity this week to stand up for yourself and say, do you know what? I believe in me. With so much light being shone in the third house, a bit of self-belief can go a very long way, Scorpio. Especially if you're Scorpio rising. Now, for some of you, romantic interest-wise, you could be dealing with a water sign, sun, moon, or rising, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, an earth sign, sun, moon, or rising, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and a Libra. But the signs really do not matter in this case. I think... You know, with the Knight of Water, the Knight of Earth, there is a balancing between energies. There are messages coming in. People want to offer you things. I can't help but feel like for a lot of you, this is some kind of solid love arrangement or a bit of a dream coming true. I do think for some of you, it looks like engagement, commitment, falling in love, some kind of proposal. Something very committed. But the Nine of Cups, it is a wish coming true. And I think with Justice... you're going to finally understand why certain things have worked out the way that they had to. And I think for a lot of you, Scorpio, they were to teach you abundance and maturity, to teach you that money isn't everything. Abundance is actually more than that. The other cards I got for you were the Moon, the Six of Cups, and the Ten of Cups. So one thing I feel that maybe is suppressing your self-belief or is making you feel a bit fearful is your family. I think that there is possibly something going a little bit deeper with a parent or a sibling where you felt overshadowed, or you felt that people didn't believe in you, or people thought that you were very with the Moon. You know, you weren't down to earth. They thought maybe you were a little bit naive. They thought you were maybe a little bit woo-woo, I guess. And people are sort of not, you know, trusting in your psychic abilities or your romantic ideals or the way that you view the world. You know, somebody maybe thinks you're quite naive. And I think a lot of your suppressed fears are coming from the past. You know, whether it was your family or whether it was a love relationship, or even with the little B's here, it could have been work where you felt like your beliefs were just not... Your beliefs and your abilities were just not acknowledged. And what's wonderful, Scorpio, is that with the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Earth, the Knight of Pentacles, you actually are really smart. You know, you're really balancing your head and your heart in whatever decisions that you're making towards the end of July. You're really balancing your heart with your smarts. You know what I mean? The Maturity card, you're really getting to grips with money. A lot of you are making more money. A lot of you are coming into jobs that are bringing you more money. And I do think it's karmic. I think with the Justice card, it's a lot to do with timing and energy more than anything else. The reason I also think that it's a lot to do with the family is because of the Wolf card. Now, the Wolf card is, it's kind of indicative of when we feel like we have to follow the pack. We have to do what our parents did, or we have to do what, you know, do things in the way that they think is suitable. And a lot of the times, Scorpio, when it comes down to it, because you're so loyal and you're so protective, you can find yourself in a trap of wanting to be protective of people, and sometimes you can sacrifice your own dreams for it. You know, you can try and fit yourself into this mold. But with the Wolf card, you're being called to be more of a leader. You're being called to lead by example. I think with the 2 Knight cards, and particularly the Maturity card, I feel like there's a lot of people are following your lead. I feel like you've done something where you're setting an example, you're telling the truth, you're putting things out there, you're speaking your truth, and the more that you do that, Scorpio, the more people are going to lead by example. I also got for you the Butterfly. And the Butterfly is so transformational. It's when you come out of this little cocoon, and when you're in the cocoon, which is where I think you've been, you feel like everything's dark, you feel like you're not growing, you don't quite know what's going to happen next. The Butterfly instinctively does, and this is where the Moon card again comes in. You have to follow your instincts. I think a lot of you Scorpios know that there is a bigger purpose going on here, especially with justice. I think a lot of you know that there's more energies at play than you think, and I think that a lot of you are aware that certain fears at the minute are very much unfounded, whether it's a fear that you're going to be alone forever, or a fear that you're not going to get the right job, or a fear that you can only make a certain amount of money if that's what it is, or a fear that you'll never make your family proud, or whatever it is for you, Scorpio, because I think with the Moon card there's always these fears, but there's really beautiful things coming for you. And with abundance and the 10 of Cups and the 9 of Cups even, and the 2 Knights, I feel, Scorpio, like a lot of your wishes are actually coming true. And I feel like it is to do with timing. I feel like it is to do with things needing to be aligned and you needing to have worked through certain fears from the past. I feel that when the new moon is in Cancer, I think on the 21st, you'll start to see that so many of your dreams are coming true, like they're within reach. You start to see evidence of it, you start to get into alignment with it, to bring it into your life. But I think, Scorpio, it's been a long time coming. The Knight of Pentacles is slow, and with justice, it's kind of, you know, justice is such a lawyer. You know, it has to research everything, it has to look at the formalities of things. It's been pushing you to stand up for yourself. I think for a lot of you, with having certain karmic things play out, they've been pushing you to stand up for yourself, but in a way that is based in actual self-belief rather than defensiveness. Do you know what I mean? I think with the Wolf and the Butterfly, you're 100% being asked to forge your own path, to go after things, to be instinctive, to be true to yourself, because you are a butterfly now. You've been transforming for a while. You have been figuring out your own colors, your own patterns, you know, your own beauty, which is so distinctive from everything else. And I think as well, Scorpio, for a lot of you with the 6 of Cups and the 10 of Cups and the Moon card, you are dealing with some kind of past life soulmate, or somebody who really feels like home, somebody who you feel like you've known forever. Like there's a knowing kind of energy. There's a lot of blue energy here. So I think that it's somebody that you can actually speak your truth with, even if that feels very scary for you at times. And if this is somebody that's not known to you yet, I feel like it's somebody that's coming in very quickly, probably in the next 2 weeks, because the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles timing wise are 2 weeks. And I think latest for you, that would be Libra season. So that would be by October. But I think by October, a lot of you are in established relationships, is what I'm seeing, if you're single, or things have moved up a notch, or things are just looking more solid than they have done for Scorpios, which is really, really beautiful. And I think as well, financially, if you have a financial wish and it's based on a goal, it's based on an accomplishment, I think a lot of it comes, Scorpio, from forging your own path. But it also comes from being a leader. So if there's an opportunity to be a leader or whatever that is, or forge your own destiny, follow your own path, I think a lot of you are going to find real financial abundance there. And I think that the Abundance Maturity card with Saturn in the 3rd is asking you to speak your truth. And once you do that, everything seems to flow so much quicker to you. I think a lot of you have removed obstacles that were not in alignment with who you are, and now things are starting to flow. So really beautiful energy, Scorpio. I hope you have a wonderful remainder of July. Keep shining the light on your fears, exposing them, working through them, and just allow this abundance to flow to you. Hope you have a Wonderful remainder of the month, Scorpio. Love you very much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.